Hey, I'm Kelly. If you love cars as much as I do, you're in the right place. From drifting car days to uncovering the world's most iconic rides. Gear up and subscribe to Drive with Kelly for non-stop car fun. 7 reasons why you should not buy Nissan Frontier in 2026. For a long time, the Nissan Frontier used to be a natural choice for all those looking for a no-nonsense pickup with a straightforward design and affordable pricing. It established itself as a great value for money proposal, but then it got redesigned, it got fancier, better equipped, and of course, more expensive. So we wonder if it's still a great value as it used to be. We bring you 7 reasons why you shouldn't buy a 2026 Nissan Frontier. Number 7, driving experience. When Nissan redesigned the Frontier a few years ago, it made it better looking, better equipped, and more appealing in general. But despite the redesign, the new generation continued to ride on the same fundamental platform architecture with a chassis that didn't evolve dramatically compared to previous generations. Even in 2026, we're still talking about an underlying design that traces back nearly 2 decades, and that reflects significantly through the ride quality, which hasn't changed radically with successive updates. In other words, the 2026 Frontier isn't particularly enjoyable to drive. It's not particularly comfortable, while leaf springs in the back can still cause a bit of bounce at higher speeds. The steering feels even more problematic. Nissan engineers have made some tweaks over the years, but it still feels vague and there isn't much feedback coming from the road. Add to this a somewhat awkward driving position, as well as the fact that the steering column doesn't offer much in terms of adjustability, and it becomes clear why we say that the overall driving experience might be one of the Frontier's key drawbacks. Even though the 2026 Frontier is really good in some aspects, such as driving dynamics, for example, thanks to its capable V6 engine producing 310 horsepower. Number 6, passenger space. As a pickup that still features essentially the same chassis architecture as it featured 2 decades ago, it's pretty clear that it didn't have much chance to grow significantly in size over the years, which has been the case with most competitors. In other words, the 2026 model isn't much bigger than its predecessors, and that is reflected through quite a similar amount of interior space. Compared to most rivals, the Frontier has one advantage, that it comes in 2 cab configurations. Unlike most classmates, the base King cab model is a typical extended cab version that prioritizes cargo bed size over comfort. But, on the other hand, the crew cab version is where Nissan lags behind rivals. Simply, this cab layout should provide more room for adults in both rows, but that's not the case. The second row lacks legroom, while headroom in the cabin isn't particularly great in general. All in all, rivals, especially American ones, are way more generous with interior passenger space and are genuine family haulers. The 2026 Frontier isn't. Still, the front row does offer plenty of room and therefore comfort, considering that Nissan traditionally has some of the best seats on the market. Number 5, fuel economy. The 2026 Nissan Frontier may not be as much more affordable than the competition as it used to be, but still seems like a better value, and the powertrain is one of the key reasons. Because it is one of the few midsize pickups that comes standard with a V6 engine. The other options are the Jeep Gladiator and Honda Ridgeline, but these are significantly more expensive. The Frontier's key rivals, the similarly priced Tacoma, Colorado, and Ranger, rather come with turbo 4 engines that are less powerful and, as expected, less refined. With 310 horses, the 2026 Frontier offers more power than most turbo 4 rivals. But on the other hand, forced induction often provides more torque for rival pickups despite the smaller displacement. So, driving dynamics are quite similar, sometimes even in favor of turbo 4-powered competition. The Frontier's V6 is way smoother without any doubt, but it's also notably thirstier. The best you can get in terms of fuel economy is up to 16 to 19 mpg in the city and 20 to 24 mpg on the highway, and that's only with rear-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive models need a bit more juice to cover the same distance. But all in all, rivals are more efficient. Both the Ford Ranger and Chevy Colorado exceed these numbers with their Turbo 4 engines, while a rear-wheel drive Tacoma can do even better than that with its new Turbo 4 engine. Oh, and we almost forgot about Toyota's hybrid powertrain, way more capable than Nissan's V6, and at the same time, way more efficient. All in all, the 2026 Frontier V6 is less efficient, but if you prefer smoothness and refinement, it could be an excellent choice, especially if we consider that it works very well in combination with the smooth shifting 9-speed automatic transmission. Number 4, standard safety and tech features. The 2026 Frontier might be cheaper than some competition, but we're not sure if it's worth the compromise in terms of safety and technology features. While the 2026 model does come with standard driver assistance technologies, including lane departure warning, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, and high beam assist, many advanced features still require upgrades to higher trim levels. For all the premium safety technologies, such as more sophisticated adaptive cruise control systems, advanced parking assistance, or traffic sign recognition, you have to pay extra and move up to higher trim levels. Moreover, due to the aforementioned older platform design, the Frontier hasn't achieved the highest possible safety ratings compared to some newer competitors. As for tech features, base models do come with the essentials, but for more, you have to go with higher trim levels and optional packages. This includes a bigger touchscreen with a standard 8-inch and optional 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system available on SV and PRO grades, second, and more than just the basic speaker setup which comes with the standard version. Fortunately, upgrades are available but require extra cash. Things like power-adjustable driver seats and premium audio systems come with mid-range trims, while more convenience features are available only with range-topping trims like the PRO-X, which unlocks dual-zone climate control, heated seats and steering wheel, premium audio system, and more. All in all, rivals seem to offer more standard features in this aspect, not to mention that most of them come with more advanced infotainment systems and better connectivity features. Number 3, ergonomics. Without any doubt, the 2026 Nissan Frontier features a nice cabin with decent materials and aesthetics. Furthermore, we like Nissan's zero-gravity seats a lot. But still, there are a few things about the cabin layout that are far from ideal. Simply, the fact that the current generation is rather a heavily updated version of previous models means that many solutions carried on from designs that were introduced way back in 2005. Though the infotainment system comes with a shiny black surround, which isn't the easiest thing to keep clean and tends to show signs of use relatively quickly. While there are no major complaints about the main infotainment screen, the center display mounted between the analog gauges on the instrument cluster feels dated and, more importantly, a bit messy and hard to read. Furthermore, we are really no fans of the 2026 Frontier's steering wheel. Not only does the column lack adjustability, but the wheel by itself comes with a couple of cons too. Buttons are far from reach, while the wheel doesn't feel exceptionally nice to the touch either. On the other hand, what we like about this pickup is visibility, which remains great in all directions. Number 2, off-road performance. If your pickup truck ownership includes a lot of going off the road, then the 2026 Frontier may not be the most ideal choice. Yes, it does come in a couple of off-road variants, but rivals offer more capabilities for the money. For example, there's the PRO 4X trim with standard four-wheel drive and upgrades like Bilstein shock absorbers, all-terrain tires, locking rear differential, additional skid plates, and more. It's a decent off-roader, although not at the same level as rivals like the TRD Pro, ZR2, or Raptor. There is also the new Roush-modified PRO 4XR variant available for 2026, which adds titanium finish skid plates, distinctive grille inserts, and lava red tow hooks. But this is more about aesthetics than substantial off-road capability improvements. Still, there are aftermarket solutions to get closer to aforementioned off-road monsters in terms of performance, but only if you're willing to pay significantly extra for specialized suspension packages and modifications. The bottom line is that while the 2026 Frontier can handle moderate off-road duties, it doesn't offer the same level of factory off-road capability as some competitors, especially when considering the price-to-performance ratio. Number 1. Towing capacity. Here comes another aspect where the 2026 Frontier lags behind most of the competition, particularly the American trucks. While models like the Chevy Colorado, GMC Canyon, and Jeep Gladiator can tow at least 7,650 pounds, the 2026 Frontier's maximum towing capacity is 7,150 pounds. The Frontier's maximum payload is 1,610 pounds, which seems reasonable for the class, but when it comes to towing, that gap of 500 plus pounds compared to key rivals can be significant for many users. The difference becomes more apparent when you consider that many truck buyers specifically choose their vehicle based on towing requirements. If you need to tow larger trailers, boats, or equipment, that extra 500 to 700 pounds of capacity that rivals offer could make the difference between choosing the Frontier or going with a competitor. Still, the mitigating circumstance is that the 2026 Frontier is more consistent than some competition. While off-road focused models or those with base engines from other manufacturers usually tow significantly less, that's not as much the case with the Frontier. Most variants can tow close to the maximum capacity regardless of configuration. But when the top number is already behind the competition, consistency at a lower level isn't necessarily a selling point. For many buyers who prioritize maximum towing capability, the 2026 Frontier simply doesn't measure up to what American competitors offer in this crucial category. Now the decision is yours. Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this guide valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss more detailed reviews and comparisons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.